Hello everyone, I wanted to make this sort of rant-like video to talk about squared scaling on Invigorating Mists and why it is problematic for Mistweaver Monk. This is basically just going to be taken from theun and his video that he made about Wrestle Shaman, where he just sort of gave a video rant about it. I'm going to effectively do the same thing because I think that this is a egregious enough problem to talk about it in this fashion. So going into 10.2, obviously we had the change made to effectively aura nerf all healers' AoE capabilities. I completely agree, this needed to happen. Healers were way too strong, cooldowns were way too strong, and it was becoming kind of boring to have 40% overheal on a fight where you're supposed to be using 4 healers on. Especially something on 5 heal in the next tier, we could see pretty much the same thing if nothing happened. So to combat that, Blizzard went through with some major healing changes to pretty much nerf the effectiveness of everyone's AoE healing. Mistweaver got hit. Initially, we thought not too hard, but then we looked at it a little bit more and was like, okay, this is actually pretty egregious because what ends up happening is good play and good RNG can result in less HPS. To sort of give some examples here, we have a screenshot of Vivify with 4 average renewing miss out. So this, in any other log, would be considered pretty bad. Especially for right now, this would be considered really bad. Generally speaking, we aim for about 8 to 10 average renewing miss per Vivify. So if we had this right now, it would be pretty bad. It does 188k effective healing, but when we look at it compared to a screenshot of a much higher amount of renewing miss, so 8.5 renewing miss per Vivify, you can see that the effective healing is actually less than the one with 4. And this is because of the squared scaling. So the squared scaling rule doesn't diminish the spell power or increase the spell power depending on the overheal percentage. So what this means is that if you have 10 renewing miss out, you're going to be healing everyone regardless of their percentage of HP, whether they're full HP or 1% HP, for the exact same amount. This is where it becomes pretty egregious because we have mechanics like Dancing Miss. We have talents like Rising Miss, which give us just the ability to get more renewing miss, and we also have rapid diffusion, right? So with all these talents in play, and with our current playstyle with higher haste percentages and really focusing on Rising Sun Kick a lot, right? What we're gonna end up seeing is 8 to 10 average renewing miss out. But what will end up happening is a lot less Vivify healing in situations where you'd want more on maybe like priority targets. Let's say there's 4 people who are injured, you have 10 renewing miss out, right? The log that has 4 renewing miss is going to do significantly more with their Vivify cast and their Vivify cleaves than the one that has 10. I think that punishing good play and punishing good RNG by doing less healing in certain scenarios feels like shit. It feels really terrible. And it's gotten so bad to the point that I'm theory crafting, not playing Dancing Miss, not playing Rising Miss at all, and going for this, purely sort of caster-based playstyle, which is very cringe to play just because of this squared scaling rule, right? I want to play whatever is most competitive, and if, what is most competitive is standing there channeling Soothing Mist with 3 average renewing miss outs, that way my renewing mist my Vivify cleaves do the most amount of healing. That just feels like dog shit. Like, that feels really bad. And I don't want to play that. So this is essentially just a cry for help to get this changed, because it's going to be a problem on progression. No doubt in my mind, if it's a problem already on PTR where the damage numbers aren't tuned correctly, it's going to be more of a problem on Mythic where there's harder hitting debuffs, people are getting hit a lot harder. Maybe the raid is taking a whole bunch of damage. Like if 10 people in the raid are taking damage and you have 10 renewing miss out, obviously you're going to do more healing than if you had 4 renewing miss out, right? But if it's a situation where there's only 4 people injured, pull to pull, you could see, one pull you safely heal those people who have taken damage and they're fine. The next pull you get good RNG or you have good play and you have more renewing miss and suddenly they die because your cleave healing is less. Like, that's just going to feel really bad. So my best suggestion would be remove the squared scaling, either remove Cloud of Focus' ability to buff Invigorating Miss, or just nerf the base spell power to begin with. I know that this does hurt Mythic Plus, and this change was made initially to impact Mythic Plus, but there are definitely easier ways to solve cleave healing and AoE healing in Mythic Plus than to just focus on Vivify Cleave. Even though it's our main ability that we want to be casting in N+, there's stuff like Essence Font, Shaylun's Gift, we have our Chiji window. We have a lot of tools to help the group stay alive. We do not need everything to be so reliant on Vivify. So shift power away from Vivify Cleave, put it into other aspects of the kit. I'm fine with that. Keeping the squared scaling thing in with the current emphasis on Vivify is going to just result in a lot of frustration on pretty much everyone who plays Mistweaver in any level of rating. That's pretty much just my rant on it. I really hope it gets changed because it feels like shit. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. I'm going to go cry. See ya.